It has not been easy through the years to attract traditional private investment capital into ambitious infrastructure projects in the developing world. And yet, with the strong commitment of the government of Uganda, the critical backing of SITE Global Power and other private investors, and with the support of the World Bank and other highly respected multinational lenders, the debt and equity financing for this project was actually oversubscribed. What a wonderful breakthrough this has been, and what a powerful model it can be for the future. But if today marks the culmination of an intricate process of planning and organization, it also marks the beginning of another demanding journey, the process of executing and instituting our plans. At the end of this road, however, lies an exciting new world of opportunity for the people of this region, for the people of this country, and indeed the whole of East Africa. As you know, the government and the people of Uganda have made substantial economic strides in recent years, and they are to be congratulated for these achievements. It is striking to me that the continent of Africa, with fully 1/6 of the world's population, produces only 4% of the world's electricity, and most of that is in the northernmost and southernmost countries. The great issue of development everywhere in the world is whether the power supply will grow more quickly than the economy, or whether economic growth will outstrip the power supply. Uganda has been suffering from the latter condition, and the consequences have been grave. Today, only 5% of the total population of Uganda and only 1% of the rural population have access to the grid supply of electric power. Even those who do have access, electricity tariffs have more than doubled in the last 4 years. These skyrocketing costs work to reinforce the cycle of poverty of millions, and they badly impair the ability of Ugandan companies to compete in international markets, and thus to expand employment. The result of continuing power shortfalls can be a downward spiral of disappointment and discouragement. The Bujagali project was not merely a desirable option as we began to examine it a few years ago. It was a fundamental necessity. I believe that the Bujagali project will propel a great chain of positive developments, an exciting upward spiral. From the very beginnings of civilization, the use of water intelligently, respectfully, and creatively has been at the very center of human concerns. The Nile River itself has been a great source and sustainer of life for thousands of years. Today, we repeat and renew that ancient story once again as we lay this foundation stone and thus signal the opening of a new era in African history. I salute all of you respectfully and gratefully for sharing with us in this great endeavor. Thank you very much.
Regarding the Bujagali hydropower project, for which we are going to lay the foundation stone this morning, Industrial Promotion Services, an affiliate of ACFED, is leading a consortium called Bujagali Energy Limited, which will be responsible for the development and operation of this project. I understand the Bujagali project is the largest single infrastructure investment of the Aga Khan Development Network worldwide. I commend His Highness for this remarkable contribution to our economy.
As the Golden Jubilee unfolds, we see new areas and dimensions of sheer scope of Imamat's work. It is mind-boggling to see the many new institutions that are being created for the future of the Jamaat and the communities in which we live.
I wanted to say how enormously happy I am to be with you in Uganda on the occasion of my Golden Jubilee. During the past 50 years, the Jamaat around the world has faced all sorts of complex situations. And one of the questions which I have been asking myself, as you will understand, is what parts of the world will be those in which the Jamaat will want to settle, live a life of peace and quality and opportunity. And one of my early conclusions was that that was unpredictable, but that certainly change would occur, not always the way we would have wanted, but the change would have occurred. The fact is that in Uganda we need institutions. And around the world we need institutions. The capacity to underwrite the future as much as we can, so that from generation to generation the Jamaat, wherever it lives, is in an environment where it can be confident that there are economic opportunities, that there will be reasonably good government, that future generations will be well educated, that longevity will be sustained and encouraged, and that the benefit of modern knowledge, modern science, will come to these environments, and that the Jamaat and others will not have to wait for decades and decades. The Jamaat will make its choices, and every generation will make its choices. That is a healthy aspect of the life of the Jamaat. But the Imam and the Imamate institutions and the AKDN institutions have as a goal to try to create stable opportunity in as many countries of the world where you are settled or where you might want to settle. And to encourage you not to think that the environments in which you live are frozen and won't change. Many of you are still young, and therefore you will not recollect what used to be said about India and China and these great Asian countries, which according to the knowledgeable people of the time could never feed themselves, could never compete with the West, never would offer opportunity, and yet 50 years later you see what's happening around. will need to take into account the changing world decade after decade after decade. But so long as you stay true to the essence of our tariqah, I believe that you will be able to gain real opportunity generation after generation. But stay true to the essence of the tariqah. Remain a global family. Keep high the notion that the human being has an intellect for a purpose, and that that intellect must be used in every aspect of your life. It is wonderful to finish my visit to East Africa in a happy family environment in a country which has known terrible times, but which I think is looking to the future with great hope and great opportunity, great confidence. And I wanted to tell you how happy I am to be here in this country and to see smiles. This is what makes me really happy. As you've heard, the new academy in Kampala will be one of 18 academies in 14 countries, which will be developed over the next 15 years. Together they will constitute an interrelated community of learning, exchanging students and teachers, sharing ideas and insights. And they will also share a variety of environmental experiences. Some, like the first academy at Mombasa, will be in oceanside settings. Others will be placed in high mountain environments. Still others will be built in desert terrains or forested areas, or, as in Kampala, at the side of a beautiful lake. As our students and teachers experience these remarkable surroundings, I hope they will develop what I would call a sense of environmental pluralism, to accompany the appreciation for cultural pluralism, which we also hope will be one of the program's hallmarks. This is an exciting time and time of dreams for our Academy's program, as we begin the long process of identifying sites, developing partnerships and designing campuses. This will be an intricate and demanding process, but we undertake it with a certain confidence. That confidence was reinforced, I might note, by the excellent scores which our first class of Academy graduates in Mombasa have just achieved on their international baccalaureate exams. One of the central precepts of the International Baccalaureate program is to honor world-class standards while also respecting cultural diversity. In this respect, its approach mirrors that of the Aga Khan academies to help students combine a cosmopolitan spirit on the one hand with a strong sense of cultural identity on the other. As students seek to enter the Academy's program, they will be judged on merit, not by their financial resources. As students leave this program, they will move on to quality universities and then to positions of social leadership. We expect many of our Kampala graduates to become pillars of Ugandan public and private institutions, a homegrown cadre of leadership. Just yesterday, we marked another key step in building Uganda's future as we laid the foundation stone for a new hydroelectric energy project in Bujagali. I noted there that lasting economic growth will be self-destructive if it is not matched by the growth of the power supply. The same thing is true in the world of human resources, where people supply the power. If economic growth propels us down a road for which our future leaders are not prepared, then we will never sustain our advances. Let me touch briefly on two particular features of the Academy vision. The first is its emphasis on the training of teachers. We plan to create on our campuses a series of professional development centers devoted to educating the educators. On the Kampala campus, in fact, we will begin with teacher education, establishing the Professional Development Center even before we enroll the students. We will put the horse before the cart, where it should be. We are confident that good teachers and best practices will radiate out from this center into the wider world of education. A second feature is our emphasis on the value of a residential campus, where students not only learn together, but also live together. I have noted a recent study by the World Bank, which found that the quantity of time or money spent on education was less important than the quality of specific educational experiences. Extraordinary teachers and exceptional companions are the key to such experiences. The final point I would emphasize today, above all else, is our uncompromising commitment to quality in every aspect of the Academy experience. Our hallmark will be quality students, quality instructors, quality facilities, an unwavering devotion to world-class standards. Let the day be long past when some could excuse mediocrity by saying that it was good enough for Africa.
The Aga Khan Academy Kampala will provide students of unusual promise of all backgrounds from across Uganda an education that is rigorous and relevant, that prepares graduates to address confidently and wisely Uganda's future problems and opportunities. It will also enhance the quality of teaching, the base on which good education rests. The Aga Khan Academy will provide relevant and rewarding professional development programs at its in-house professional development centers, serving Ugandan teachers and school leaders, from within the Academy as well as from government and other schools.
His Highness the Aga Khan has made significant contributions towards the social and the economic development of this country. Uganda is proud to be associated with the Aga Khan Development Network, of whose initiatives we are great beneficiaries. The Aga Khan Development Network's long-standing partnership with the government of Uganda, particularly in the areas of education, rural support, and economic development, must therefore be applauded. I'd like to hail His Highness the Aga Khan for choosing Kampala as the site for this academy. This brings to our locality a wealth of education experience that will offer the best contemporary services in Uganda. Uganda will certainly benefit from your long-standing partnerships with universities such as Harvard, Oxford, and Toronto, as well as renewed college preparatory schools.
My optimism grows out of several observations, beginning with the continuing rich potential of Africa's natural resources, including the remarkable talents and the resilient spirit of her peoples. I would also note the progress which has been made in the economic field, as exemplified by the recent growth rates here in Uganda. I am encouraged by the welcoming attitude which has developed in Uganda and elsewhere across the continent for private investment and for public-private partnerships. I would mention also, especially in the Ugandan context, the growing potential for cross-border cooperation, including Uganda's role in international institutions, from the East African Community to the British Commonwealth. In discussing economic progress, I especially want to note the strong commitment which has been made to improving the quality of life in the great rural areas of this country, places where both the opportunities and the difficulties, the hopes and the hurdles are particularly high. Yet here in Uganda, as in other countries I have recently visited, I see an intensified determination to overcome those obstacles and to deliver practical results. There are other reasons too for my positive outlook. One of the most important is a growing spirit of pluralism, which is especially vibrant here in Uganda, growing out of this country's rich diversity of language, of ethnicity, of faith, and even of social philosophy. It is a diversity which is mirrored in the diversity of the Ismaili Jamaat and the whole of the Islamic Ummah in Uganda. My hope for Uganda is that it can continue to build a culture which sees diversity and difference peacefully expressed as a source of potential strength rather than a cause of harmful division. Even as we take deep pride in our own personal traditions, we also know that we can learn a great deal from those who have come from different backgrounds and who hold different perspectives. As this resurgent, cosmopolitan spirit continues to develop in Uganda, it can be a profound source of strength for this country, and indeed for the entire world. All across our planet in these early years of the 21st century, people are learning to live with other people who are different from them, but who are suddenly closely connected. This is happening because of the radical technological revolution in the way the world communicates, and also because of the unprecedented movement of populations from region to region. In such a world, our new neighbors are those who may live across the world, as well as those who may live across the street. I believe the people of Uganda can give to the world in the years ahead the gift of a vibrant example as a society which has overcome the worst experiences of past intolerance and embraced the abundant promise of a pluralistic but united future. If one key to unlocking the potential of Uganda and of all of Africa is a spirit of pluralism, then another key should be a commitment to excellence. There was a time earlier in my mind when mediocrity was considered tolerable here because it was good enough for Africa. I remember my apprehension at the time, my concern that among all the goals that were set for Africa in those days, the achievement of world-class standards was not seen as realistic. But in the rapidly globalizing world of the 21st century, the progress of every country and continent will depend on its ability to meet universal standards. To settle for less is an increasingly dangerous position. This commitment to achieve global norms and even to excel can wisely begin with the nation's educational institutions and the preparation of our future leaders. Here, Uganda's proud traditions at Makerere University and other great institutions should be of special motivation and strength.
Ma deuxième intervention sera adressée à une personnalité que je viens de découvrir au cours de cette rencontre de ce soir, qu'est Son Altesse Bagakan. Et j'ai bavardé avec lui pendant le repas et je me suis rendu compte qu'il y a une grande personnalité qui couvre une grande communauté que je ne connaissais pas très bien, mais qui, au cours de la conversation, m'a éclairé de ce que je ne connaissais pas. Et profitant de l'occasion, je lui adresse toutes mes civilités.
I therefore would like to use this occasion of the 50th anniversary of the coronation of His Highness the Aga Khan. First of all, congratulate you. And secondly, salute him and the Ismaila community for their big contribution to the economy of East Africa. I want to assure you that the bad experience of Idi Amin will never happen again in Uganda. Those actions by Idi Amin were ignorant, first of all, and they were also contrary to our traditions, to the traditions of the African people.
It is in that spirit of partnership, then, that I conclude this journey, grateful for what we have been able to do together in the past, excited by the things we will be attempting to do together in the future, and looking forward to many return visits to this very special place.